Hey bloggers, today I want to talk to you about newsletters. But listen, before you push pause or move to your next podcast, hear me out. Newsletters are one of those things that we as bloggers hear about on the regular. We hear about email marketing. If you listened to a podcast earlier last week, I talked about lead magnets and nurture series. We know that there's value in a newsletter, or we know that we keep hearing there's value in a newsletter, and yet we don't do it, or we don't do it consistently, or we say, yeah, and we move to the next shiny object. But I want to talk to you today. I want to have a real conversation about the value that a newsletter brings to your business and the critical functions that it can serve in your blogging business. My name's Leslie Peterson, and I help bloggers turn their modest websites into thriving online enterprises with SEO, email marketing, and a little hard love encouragement to always move forward consistently and with a plan. The first one is regular connection with your customers. A newsletter, when done on a regular basis and done consistently, really keeps your brand top of mind. So when they're getting ready to plan their next vacation, or make their next meal, or buy their next car seat, or read their next book, or plan their next Disney trip, or whatever the case may be, you're the first one that comes to mind. You're the one in their mind that is their friend who's got their back. And that really comes from being consistent, but also building connection in that newsletter. One thing that I see a lot of people doing is using an RSS feed so that their most recent communications or most recent blog posts go out as the newsletter, or they pick the newsletter, they put them in there manually, put links in manually, but it's just like the last blog post that they put out or the last 3 that they put out. There's no real connection there. I mean, the letter in newsletter is missing. And that letter's so important. It is the thing that lets people feel like they have a relationship with you. I think this generation of entrepreneurs really gets that because they're active on social media, and then yet they find it hard to build a connection on the newsletter. It's the same concept. You're just sharing a little bit about yourself, nothing more than you feel comfortable sharing, but helping build a relationship, open yourself up, be a little vulnerable in a newsletter instead of on social media. Same concept. Okay, what's another critical function of a newsletter? Well, delivering value. That's kind of a duh moment, right? A well-crafted newsletter can deliver a lot of value to your reader because it's making them aware of posts that they might not already be searching for. So they might have missed something on social. They might not have seen something on your homepage. They might not even be searching for that particular thing, but you've got great information that can help them. So for example, our date nights post is really, really popular. A lot of people search for where to go on a date night in Atlanta. But Matilda's is a place with great live music, and you can bring your lawn chairs and a charcuterie board, and you can come on a date night, or you can bring your family. That's something not a lot of people know about. So that goes over well in the newsletter because it's something I know people are looking for, date night opportunities, but they don't know it exists. And that's a really great way to deliver that hidden value to your customers. Now, the third reason is because it can be a traffic driver. So if you're including links to your blog posts in your newsletter, then it can definitely drive traffic to your site. I'm here to tell you, it's probably not going to drive a lot unless you've got, maybe 1 million subscribers, but it is helpful. It's nothing to shy away from. And that is a reason to share some of your high RPM posts in your newsletter. Again, you're not just trying to share what's the newest or what's the highest RPM. We're actually trying to build connection. But if you've got a connection that week in your life to one of your high RPM posts, then absolutely add it. I'll give you an example. We had a week where one of the state park posts on our blog was that the RPM was something weird. It was weird. It was like 5 times more than what the average was. I mean, that's pretty rare occurrence, but I wanted to leverage the fact that this phenomenon was happening. And as I was sat down to write the newsletter, I was like, oh, well, we just went to a brand new to us state park. I'm going to tell them the story about that and what we saw and how great it was and how it's always fun to adventure to either a trusted park, but also to a new one. And then I was able to share in that post the high RPM state park post, or in that newsletter. So you don't want to just throw something out of left field. You want to bring a connection when you can, but looking at your high RPM posts is a great way to do that. Now, newsletters are also really great ways to share sales and promotions, either of your own content or of an affiliate partner. But you don't want to do this too often, and you definitely don't want to do this until you've built that relationship. So I recommend sending out your lead magnet when somebody signs up, then sending out 2, 3, 4 nurture series emails to get to know them, to tell them about you, to help them on whatever journey that they're on when they found you, and then throwing them into your newsletter routine, but then only sharing those sales and promotions periodically, because you want to build trust. You want to build, again, I'm using this word over and over again, that connection, the relationship, and that's not going to happen when you're sending them a sales email every other week or every week. So in order for people to trust you and to relate to you and to click through on those sales and those promotions, again, whether it's your affiliate link or your own product, you just want to be picky about how often you do it and how you do it. Now, a 5th reason to send a newsletter is because it establishes your authority on a particular topic. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. I've been sending my newsletter now every week, I think for 8 years, I want to say. And I think maybe there were 3 or 4 weeks that I didn't get one out. One of them was when I had COVID. Another one was when I was severely ill. So it doesn't happen very often. And I'll be honest, one week I was so busy, it literally slipped my mind because somehow it got deleted off my calendar. So it does happen. But consistently for, I think, 8 years now. And that's how I got a regular occurrence on the local news station, because one of the producers of the news station was reading our newsletter, fell in love with it. And again, we're family travel, and she doesn't even have kids. She was just like, I just like your content, and I look forward to getting your newsletter and hear about what's going on in your life. And that's how we got a regular stint on the local news channel. So it really does establish you as an authority. Why? Because you're connecting with people and you're top of mind for them all the time. Number 6, it's a great direct communication channel. So you've got social media, yes, but a lot of times there's something that you've just got to share. It could be something going on in your life, maybe a rebranding, maybe you've got a brand new product out, maybe you're taking a different direction, just that thing that you want to make sure everybody sees. Unless you're running ads against your social media, it's very unlikely that everybody's going to see it. Now, is everybody going to see it if it's in your newsletter? No. But as you grow your newsletter, your most loyal customers will see that information. Your most important customers will see that information. And that direct line of communication isn't impacted by any changing algorithm on Google or on Pinterest or on Instagram. It's never disrupted by somebody else's decision about how they're going to change their business. And then finally, newsletters can really provide some valuable insight about your audience base, how they're engaging with you, what the click-through rates and open rates are based on not just having a good subject line, but what the content is. So if you see, for me, if I have a date night newsletter that goes out, I'm definitely going to see a lot more traction on that. If I have a hiking or a state or national park newsletter that goes out, I'm going to see a lot of traction on that. Whereas if I share something about a local event, we do get good traffic on it. Our audience likes to hear about local events, but it doesn't get the same sort of celebration as other things. And that really gives me some insight into the community that we've built, at least in that newsletter and on the blog. So those are 7 reasons why I think it's so critical as a blogger that we stop kind of rolling our eyes and nodding our heads and saying, yeah, I need a newsletter, but actually take action, make it happen, and be consistent. It's definitely a money maker, but there's so many other reasons to do it as well. So I challenge you to think about when you're going to start a newsletter, or if you've got one, to be more consistent about it, to put an editorial calendar together, to really get serious about this side of your business. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The number of subscribers, engaged subscribers that you are communicating with on a regular basis is directly proportional to your income potential.